The seizure of Singapore's Terex armoured carriers by Hong Kong Customs is not a strategic incident. Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan said this today in his first public comments on the matter. He added that Singapore would not allow any one issue to hijack its relationship with China. Dr. Balakrishnan was fielding questions concerning the incident at the Global Outlook Forum.
Take a longer-term view of Sino-Singapore relations instead of focusing just on what happens presently. This was the outlook Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan urged people to have when asked about the seizure of Singapore's Terex military vehicles in Hong Kong after an overseas training stint in Taiwan.
You all know, in fact everyone including China knows, that we have had a special arrangements with Taiwan for a long time. What we're doing there is no longer a secret. Everybody knows that.
Dr. Balakrishnan said Singapore and China have a long-standing, multifaceted and mutually beneficial relationship.
If you are truly close, there will be from time to time things which you'll disagree about. And fortunately or unfortunately for Singapore, we are very consistent. We're very transparent, and we call a spade a spade.
When there are differences, Dr. Balakrishnan said it's better to be upfront and honest in a non-provocative way.
In Chinese culture, you appreciate this concept of loyalty to old friends. But at the same time, you know full well where I stand, and I believe in one China, and we will not deviate from that, and we have not changed.
China's foreign ministry had made representations to Singapore and urged the Republic to abide by the One China principle, which counts Taiwan as part of its sovereign territory. Dr. Balakrishnan said he wasn't surprised that China had responded, but urged people not to view such incidents as a zero-sum game or to overreact and be too defensive. And if there were any insights to be gleaned from the episode, he said it was on how to do things strictly, carefully, and by the law. At the most senior leadership levels, Dr. Balakrishnan said there is deep appreciation for the long and wide-ranging relationship between Singapore and China. He suggested that ties can and should be constructive, and that Singapore can leverage its unique multicultural status to be a good friend and honest broker.
And in giving his update on the situation, Defence Minister Ng Hen said that Singapore will follow regulations, but also exercise its full rights in recovering these armoured vehicles.
9 of such vehicles are still in Hong Kong, days after they were seized by authorities there. Meanwhile, many questions have been raised. For instance, why were they detained in the first place? I asked the Chief of Army of Singapore whether the Defence Ministry has identified any administrative lapses or if necessary paperwork was put up. Now, the Chief of Army said that it is still too early to establish this and more confirmation is needed. He said discussions are still ongoing in Hong Kong, and he said that discussions are moving well. Also, why were commercial ships used to transport military equipment?
There's nothing unusual about the carrier in this particular instance for the Terex's APL using Hong Kong as a transit. The carriers that we have appointed before to carry SAF equipment have used Hong Kong frequently before without any incident.
This issue has also cast a spotlight on Singapore-China ties. China had earlier voiced concerns over Singapore's military exchanges with Taiwan.
People know where we train openly, and we adhere to the One China policy, and any trading matters between us and other countries are bilateral.
Dr. Ng stressed that Singapore had played a positive role in boosting cross-strait ties. He cited the historic 1993 meeting between China and Taiwan, which was held in Singapore.
Just very recently, in 2015, the historic meeting between President Xi Jinping and Ma Ying-jeou were conducted in Singapore.
Dr. Ng stressed that it's important not to speculate why Hong Kong Customs seized the vehicles and to wait until all the facts are established.